All right, so here we have the Ielts preparation program. Today we have officially the first session. So this session is going to have a description, and then we're going to see what we're going to do. Can you please read the description?
All right. Description. Activities to introduce multiple choice and matching type questions and a procedure for answering them. Skills developed are listening for general and specific ideas.
All right, okay, so very good. Developed. So we're going to develop different skills, and the most basic ones are listening for general and specific ideas. It's very similar to the reading techniques that we can use, like skimming and scanning, for example. But actually, the technique where you're listening for general and specific ideas is also called top-down processing. Okay, so we're going to practice that today. Okay, very good. Can you read the aims for today's class, please?
Aims. To introduce multiple choice and matching type questions. To focus on prediction of possible language in the recording. To activate the student's knowledge of the situation and language to be heard.
Very good. So basically, that's what we're going to do. We're going to practice multiple choice, matching type questions. And for these, we're going to familiarize ourselves with some exercises and also with prediction. In the same way, we're going to do some pre-activities in order to just get used to the techniques that might be used for the exam. As I can tell you today and every day from now on, when I first took the exam, I didn't have I was not aware of the structure. So I had the language, but I didn't have the skills for the exam. So my my band was very low. Then I studied the body of the exam, and the result was much better. And the third time was much better. The fourth and so on. Okay, so that's the idea. Of course, you're not going to be taking the exam twice because it's quite expensive. Okay, all right, so but that's the idea, that before you take the exam, you really understand how it is shaped, but also how to embrace every skill. So today we start with listening. Okay, very good. Thank you for reading. Now, let's see. We have multiple choice. In multiple choice tasks, there is a question followed by three possible answers, or the beginning of a sentence followed by three possible ways to complete the sentence. Test takers are required to choose the one correct answer, A, B, or C. Sometimes test takers are given a longer list of possible answers and told that they must choose more than one. In this case, they should read the question carefully to check how many answers are required. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, good, perfect. But if you have questions, just let me know. Okay, excellent. Okay, let's start with this activity. So we're going to focus on familiarization, but also top-down processing, okay, based on the multiple choice activity we have here. So this is the context. A customer has been arranging with a shipping agent to send a large box overseas. This is the last part of the conversation. Now, for this activity, I recommend that you have pencil or a pen at hand, plus a piece of paper. All right, so let me know when you're ready. Okay, very good. So we're going to start with top-down processing. So this is familiarization process, and the context is a customer has been arranging with a shipping agent to send a large box overseas. This is the last part of the conversation. So first you're going to listen to the audio. Remember, this is practice. This is to develop techniques. You will never listen to an audio twice in a real exam, okay? But today we're going to be exposed as much as possible to the audio, the three audios we're going to have today, okay? So I'm going to play the audio and just stop down process information. For example, if you hear, let's practice. I don't know if I did this before, but let's practice very quickly. If I say, for example, Shakira, what do you think about immediately?
Music, Colombia,
Mhm,
dancing.
mhm. If I say, for example, let me see, Maria Conchita Alonso.
Actually, I don't know her.
It's all right, it's all right. Sometimes top-down processing depends on how much we know about the context. But if we know nothing, it's all right. We need to apply other techniques like contextualizing or just assuming information, especially for listening. Okay, very good. So we're going to listen to the audio. Please top-down process the information that you get. It could be, for example, keywords, important, not like a story. I'm not asking you to write literally what you hear because we don't have time for that. Just key words or key ideas. Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's start.
Okay, right. Now, obviously, insurance is an important thing to consider, and our companies are able to offer very good rates in a number of different all-inclusive packages.
Sorry, could you explain a bit more?
Yes, sorry. There's really three rates according to quality of insurance cover. There's the highest comprehensive cover, which is premium rate. Then there's standard rate, and then there's economy rate. That one will only cover the cost of the contents second hand.
Oh, I've been stung before with economy insurance, so I'll go for the highest.
Mm-hmm. And can I just check, would you want home delivery or to a local depot, or would you want to pick it up at the nearest port?
The port would be fine. I've got transport that end.
Fine.
Mhm.
And will you be paying by credit card?
Can I pay by check?
Okay, very good. So let's see, what ideas could you get from the listening?
I got money, insurance, paying, saving.
Mhm. All right. Sorry, the last one, saving.
Yes.
Okay. So how many people could you say you found in this audio or in the story?
I felt two.
Mhm. All right, two people. Excellent. Do you think they were talking on the phone or face to face?
Maybe face to face because
Mhm.
all the conversation was so close for being like by phone.
Mhm. All right, good. Okay, now if you have good memory, could it be simple for you to tell how many situations were mentioned in the audio? And this is
Well,
difficult. Mhm.
I'm not so sure, but what were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's all right. So for all the audios in the IELTS exam, we're going to have situations. Okay, situation is the topic that is mentioned. Okay, so if you say that you heard about money, insurance, saving, maybe they belong to different situations or to the same situation. I know that is a little bit complex, but it's good. It's a good idea to, when you listen to the audio, it's the same for reading. When you read, you see paragraphs, right? Now, when you listen, it's more difficult to tell if you have one, two, or three because you don't think about that, but we can think about ideas. So for listening, instead of thinking about paragraphs, we think about visual and auditive. Well, visual, not visual because we don't have the visual in front of us, but like visual and auditive stories because we cannot read, okay? We need to imagine and visualize. When I say visualize is because at some parts of the exam, you're going to have visual um, like, I don't know, procedures, okay? Okay, very good. So you say money, insurance, saving, and two people talking face to face, and it was difficult. Now, maybe you didn't pay attention if they mentioned a certain amount of stories. Very good. Another question for top-down processing is to ask yourself how capable you are of getting the most precise and relevant information. So if they're talking about money, Let me ask you some questions about money. Did they talk about numbers, quantities, digits, or no?
Actually, they were talking about how expensive or cheap are the
Mm-hmm.
package of saving things.
Yeah.
They weren't talking about like money
Mm-hmm.
itself, like the quantity. They were talking about expensive and
Mm-hmm. Very good. And they were talking about saving, like saving money.
not like saving. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to say that saving things from harm and being secure that you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, to pay something again if you broke one
Mm-hmm.
of your things or if you broke something on your car. You don't have to buy a car again and you have something. It's
All
like
right.
saving for like
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what was the guy looking for in the situation?
he was looking for like high protection because he said that
Mm-hmm.
he was looking for like a high quality package because he liked to be like protecting his things and
Mm-hmm. Very good.
all that.
And did he mention how he really wants to pay?
Like
How
credit
he
card.
credit card. Okay. All right. Okay, so the thing is that when you have this information in the real exam, it's gonna be like for seconds in your mind. Okay, so this is going to happen more in your mind, but for just a fragment of a second. Okay, and then you have to be careful. Okay, if the information is correct or incorrect in this case. Okay, very good. So here we have top-down processing. So today we're going to practice this and maybe another exercise with top-down processing is going to be a little bit longer, but so far so good. Do you have any questions so far?
Actually, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good, perfect. Don't forget, this is a process for familiarization, all right? Okay, very good. So here you have part of what it would be a real exam. Okay, so you only have two questions. And I want, if you remember the description of the task at the beginning that we read, so you're given three options. How many options are going to be possible for each question or each task?
One.
Only one. Yes. So can you select two?
All right. The first one, I think that it's premium, and the second one, I think that it's home.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'm not asking you to give me the answer because we're going to listen again. Don't worry. But it's nice. It's nice. Now you're ready. You're ready. Very good. But be careful. Be careful. You're going to listen again, and you're going to make sure that those are the correct answers. My question is about understanding the task. Okay, so here you have two tasks, and how do you know that you only select one option per task? For number one, for number 10, one. How do you know?
Because
Because
it's like
Mhm.
the logic of the exam multiple choice questions are like you have multiple choices but you can make just one.
Mm, all right, but if you read the task, what does it say?
Choose the correct letter, A, B, or C.
Yes, yes, and we have in IELTS we have to be careful about or, okay, because for some parts of the exam, or means one and possibly another. But in this case, no. For this multiple choice task, we only select one answer because remember they said sometimes they will tell you that two options can be correct. Okay. All right, very good. Okay, so you already gave me an answer, which is wonderful, but we're going to listen once again. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Okay, right. Now, obviously, insurance is an important thing to consider, and our companies are able to offer very good rates in a number of different all-inclusive packages.
Sorry, could you explain a bit more?
Yes, sorry. There's really three rates according to quality of insurance cover. There's the highest comprehensive cover, which is premium rate. Then there's standard rate, and then there's economy rate. That one will only cover the cost of the contents second hand.
Oh, I've been stung before with economy insurance, so I'll go for the highest.
Mm-hmm. And can I just check, would you want home delivery or to a local depot, or would you want to pick it up at the nearest port?
The port would be fine. I've got transport that end.
Fine. And will you be paying by credit card?
Can I pay by
I think he was going to say, can I pay by check? But the audio was chopped off. Okay, so now it's very interesting that you had the answers, but my question is, can you give me the answers once again, please, for number 9? Type of insurance chosen: A, economy; B, standard; C, premium. Which one do you think is the answer?
C, premium.
Okay, so let's select C, premium. Number 10, customer wants customer wants goods delivered to A, port; B, home; C, depot. So which one do you think is the answer?
A, port.
All right. Okay. Why did you say before that it was like be home? Because maybe you assume from the context that he was at home, or
Yes, maybe. I
oh.
had just my imagine I imagined
Yeah,
him just
yeah.
talking face to face to
Hmm.
somebody at home and asking for insurances, and it's kind of curious because he
Mhm.
didn't even said where he was, and in the
Mm.
audio it was
Yeah, super. Well, I don't know if those are the correct answers. Okay, so are you ready to see?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So number 9 is C, premium, and number 10 is A, port. Now, in the IELTS exam for the listening task, they really ask you to give an answer. They don't, I mean, in some other exams, they say if you're not sure, don't answer. But in IELTS, you need to answer. And if the answer is incorrect, you may lose 1 mark or even 2 marks, depending on the task. Okay. Okay, very good. Any questions so far?
Actually, no.
All right, super, excellent. Okay, let's continue with matching. So first was multiple choice, now is matching. Test takers are required to match a numbered list of items from the listening text to a set of options on the question paper. In this case, if you take it, I think it's going to be online, okay? The set of options may be criteria of some kind. Matching assesses the skill of listening for detail and whether a test taker can understand information given in a conversation on an everyday topic, such as the different types of hotel or guest house accommodation. It also assesses the ability to follow a conversation between two people. It may also be used to assess test takers' ability to recognize relationships and connections between facts in the listening text. Any questions so far? No, sorry. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Excellent. All right, so brainstorm. We're going to do a matching activity practice predicting the context. So, Anna, I'm so happy to see that you are at the university. When I designed this, I was thinking like, well, Anna maybe is not at the university yet, but IELTS is, if you're going to take academic IELTS, is going to focus on university. But now that you are at the university, I'm delighted. So good. Okay, let's do this exercise. Remember when I say Shakira
Yes.
and you give me ideas? All right, so I want to ask you this question and you have to do something similarly. When I tell you the word university, what do you think about? I'm going to give you 20 seconds. You can use the piece of paper and you can start now. Go ahead. All right, very good. So far, so good?
Yes.
All right, it's okay, it's okay. So tell me, when I said university, what do you think about?
Change, evolution, future, challenges, new life,
New life, sorry?
yes, professional.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, so in this case, when you do this activity, the activity tells the kinds of strategies that you use. Okay. Okay, so you said change, evolution, future, challenges, new life, professional. Do you think about careers? Any specific careers?
Yes,
Or
medicine.
do you think about specific subjects, for example? When I said
Mm,
university.
actually, in my university, we have subject
Mm-hmm.
called basic care, and you
Oh,
have to learn how to attend many things. And yes, that's the subject I think.
yeah, super nice. Basic care. All right, like that, right? Okay, very good. So now the thing is that one thing is what you believe the word may give you through brainstorming, and something different is what you will try to predict this new listening is going to be about. So now you know that we're going to do a matching listening exercise, but here we are predicting the context. So for you, if the topic is about university, you think they may mention change, evolution, future challenge, challenges, new life. Okay. And it's okay. It's okay because it's very difficult to be so specific about the contents. But I'm going to show you some contents that may be related to university, but they're not supposed to be in the audio. The thing is that here we're talking about how much you know about English, how much you know about universities, especially in English speaking worlds. So far, so good? Did I say did I
Yeah.
say English speaking worlds? Okay, that's weird. In English speaking countries, all right? Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, very good. Okay, let's see. Sorry, let me do this here. Okay, so here we have some information that is very common in any English speaking country when students think about universities. Now, the question is, how much do you know? So my first question is, Anna, what is a lecture for you? What is the definition of a lecture?
Oh,
Sorry. I think I was not listening to you. Okay, can you say again? What's the meaning of lecture for you in English?
like something that you have to pay too much attention is
Mm-hmm.
like some kind of conference, and you have to listen
Mm-hmm.
to it, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to take some notes maybe because it's important for you and for your
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Yes and no. Actually, a lecture is like a class where the teacher is the only one who speaks. Okay. So that is what we call in English a lecture. All right. So I don't know if you say, no, you didn't say seminar, right? No, I'm just dreaming here. Okay. So it could be very similar to a seminar in Spanish. Okay. But a lecture is a very formal class with maybe 50 students paying attention to one teacher. Conference, no, 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 so much. Okay, a conference has lectures, maybe, but a lecture is much more specific than a conference because a conference is an event. Okay, next one, study. What is that, Anna?
well, study is something that you have to do for achieving your goals at a school or at college. Maybe you have
Mm,
to read too much. Maybe you have, it's like a list of things that you have to do or you have
mhm,
to learn. And studying means
mhm.
like taking all the knowledge and making it yours.
Yes, yes, definitely. That's what study is about. Excellent. Degree.
Actually, I don't know what that word means.
Oh, okay, don't worry, don't worry. Degree is, for example, if you're studying medicine, you need to get a degree. So in this case, a degree is the opposite of diploma. Diploma is the paper, but in the paper, you see reflected the degree. So you officially are a doctor. Okay, so the degree is the title that you receive. Now you are Dr. Saria, for example. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Don't worry. It's okay. Let's continue. Campus.
It's like the place of where the
Mm-hmm.
university is located, like
All right.
the
Okay.
building and everything that it's physic.
So it's not campo, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
All right. Very good. Excellent. What about master's degree?
Well, like degree is like the
Mm-hmm.
title.
Mm-hmm.
Master's degree is something like upper. Is even
Mm-hmm.
more specific. Like if I'm a doctor, after that I should be like, I don't know, a surgeon, or I
Mm-hmm.
should be like related with kids, or
All right.
everything that it's more
Mm-hmm.
specific.
Yes, you could be like a cosmetic surgery doctor, a pediatrist. It's all right. It's true. It's true. Very good. Okay. PhD or doctorate.
Is something that you do like after a master's degree,
Mm-hmm.
is something even more specialized. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like if I'm a surgeon and I'm a general surgeon and then
Mm-hmm.
I want to specialize in pediatric surgery, then I'm a surgeon, general surgeon specialized on pediatric surgery with a PhD or a doctorate about.
All right. Okay. Excellent. What about specialization?
It's something like that, but I think that
Mm-hmm.
it's like less formal.
Ah.
And as it says, it's really specific, really
Mm-hmm.
specific.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Because
true.
as I told you, like
Mm-hmm.
being a surgeon, it's like the specialization that you
Mm-hmm.
do after being like a common doctor.
Mm-hmm. All right. The last one, majoring.
Sorry, I was
Oh,
with my talking with
oh,
my mic off.
okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
So
Mm-hmm.
actually, is the second word, I don't know the
Oh,
meaning.
don't worry, don't worry. For example, when you want to specialize in something, actually, specialization is like the first thing you do after you graduate. So you graduate as a doctor, but in the process, you majored in something. So maybe you may say, well, I want to be a pediatrist because I want to work with children. So I'm going to major in this field of study. So major is to decide how to specialize in your career. Okay, so major is deciding what kind of degree you want to get in medicine. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, for these, I mean, of course, the idea of this exercise is that when you think about something, yes, you can think from your own experience, but also you need to think from the experience of those living in English-speaking countries. Okay. So, what do you think they think about when they hear the word university, for example? So, these words are very common to be used in university life, for example, in English. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, let's answer the first question. Have you studied at university? And now I'm so happy to hear that you actually have. If you have, what subjects did you take? Or you're taking, for example, were they divided into a main course and option courses? If you haven't, are there any subjects that you would like to study further? Tell me, what do you think?
Right. This is my first semester,
Mm-hmm.
and subjects are like kind of basic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
can I say about my subjects?
Mhm, 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 mhm.
They are just for learning how to do your things and how it's going to
Oh,
work, like being a doctor.
all right. It's like
But maybe
introductory.
it's not
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
yeah, it's
All
like
right.
something related to medicine and to biology, chemistry.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I know. It's like
but
the
we don't.
first stage. Oh, super. Mhm, mhm,
Yeah, and we have that subject called basic care that we have to take for learning how our health system works here in Colombia.
mm,
And what
super
is like
nice.
some concepts like MIAS, MITE, and PACE, and everything there.
Mhm,
We're learning even how to select the things and the garbage, can I say, like at hospitals
mm,
with biological things and with chemical things, and how are we going to handle them for
mhm.
taking out to this make them disappear from the
Oh,
hospital.
okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, thank you. Next question. How much do you know about the university system in the United Kingdom, for example? What is a lecture, a tutorial, and a seminar? What do students do in each of these? Who leads these sessions and what do they do? Let's start with the first question. How much do you know about the university system in the United Kingdom?
Well, actually, I know nothing about
Mhm,
it. I haven't investigated about it yet,
mhm.
but I think that it's a little bit different from our system here in Colombia. And so I don't know actually, and even the other three questions, I don't know how
Oh, okay.
to answer them.
It's all
You
right.
told me that a lecture
Mhm,
was like in a space with somebody talked, a teacher talked, and
mhm.
you have to pay attention like 50 students.
Okay, so actually, by defining lecture, you already answered number three and number four. Yeah, so okay, very good. What about a tutorial?
A tutorial, actually, maybe I'm too
Mhm.
influenced by YouTube or stuff, but
Right,
I
don't
think that
worry.
it's when somebody teaches you how to.
Mhm. Yes, yes, kind of. For example, when you start university in the United Kingdom or the United States, they assign you a tutor. Yes, so you will have a tutor, and that person is going to guide you. Usually, teachers are PhD students or master's degree students. Yes, so that's like a tutorial. So you meet face to face. Well, not face to face anymore, coronavirus, but you meet one to one. Yes, and that person is going to assess you. All right.
All right.
And
So
seminar. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we have to do after fifth semester here in my university. If you're like
Oh,
upper fifth semester, you have to help people like in second
super
semester, third
amazing.
semester, because after your fifth semester, you're going to be like in contact with patients and you
Mm,
have to be like, hey, this is the clinic, this is how you have to behave, this is the things that you have to.
super, super nice. I think when you speak, suddenly I stop listening to you. Maybe is the microphone? I'm not sure. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear
okay.
you.
Okay. Sorry. So you were saying that you actually help newcomers understand the system, for example, yes?
Yes, actually,
Hmm. I cannot hear you properly. Sorry. It's like shaky. Maybe it's the microphone. I'm not sure.
it's like much better.
Okay. Yes, it's much better. Yes. Hmm. Okay. All right. Good. So far, so good.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What about seminar? So seminar is something very similar to, it's like smaller because it's smaller than a lecture, way much more smaller. And you may participate if you want. It's like a kind of very formal workshop. Okay, so seminar is usually a very formal workshop. And a workshop usually requires people to work together in groups. Okay. So far, so good?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Question number 3. What do you think a degree called communication studies is about? Does this subject exist in your country? So let's answer the first question. What do you think a degree called communication studies is about?
Well, I think that communication studies is about like knowing how to communicate. Like it's not so difficult to know it, but
Mhm,
in ways of communicating, like with media or with, yeah, this kind of things.
mhm, mhm. All right. Okay, excellent. Does this subject exist in your country?
Yes, I think like
Mhm,
related, it's really related to people who like study about investigations and getting
mhm.
into this world of being aware of
Journalism,
something.
perhaps? Yeah.
Journalism, yes,
Mhm,
journalism. Thank
mhm.
you. I was looking for that word.
It's all right.
It's really
Okay.
related.
Yeah, okay, very good. Now, when you listen to information that is not adapted to your country, because unfortunately the IELTS is not personalized. IELTS is usually going to treat topics about Canada, United States, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, United Kingdom. Yeah, so you're not going to hear somebody talk about Colombia or Venezuela. So the thing is that, yes, I mean, one thing is to say to yourself immediately, okay, how much do I know about this? How much, I mean, do we have these? Am I aware that we have these in our society? So that's also like comparing the situation, okay? Very good. Number 4, what do you think the following course options for a communication studies degree are about? We have media studies, women in power, culture and society, identity and popular culture, introduction to culture theory. Okay, so let's just start with media studies. What do you think that is about?
I think that it's about like how to handle social media and how to like use it for sharing information like massively or to some kinds of public.
Mhm, okay, all right, brilliant. It is indeed very good. Women and power.
Well, like my feminist self is like so happy about it and it's so interesting. Well, I think that this kind of subject, it's about like investigating how to relate with the girls and with feminine public,
Mhm,
maybe about some feminist things to relate
mhm,
and to
mhm,
avoid like this kind of gender roles.
All right, like historical movements. All right, interesting. Okay, culture and society.
I think that it's more related to investigation and it's more related to like, I don't know, maybe here in Colombia they are investigating something about, I don't know, Tejo, and they are saying where it comes from and how it's related to Colombian culture, and
Mhm,
maybe, or I don't know, about alcohol, about
mhm,
aguardiente, about chicha, and how it's related
mhm.
to our social kind of relationship.
Yes, and also that could be related to popular culture, which is the next one, identity and popular culture. Okay, so that's very much related to what you just said. What about the last one, introduction to culture theory?
Maybe it's a little bit more general that you
Mhm,
have to know how to maybe the culture, how it's born and how
mhm,
you can handle it, and maybe the relationship between some different cultures and how they connect with each other despite of being just so far away from each other. Maybe, I don't know, Latino culture and African
mhm.
culture, the relationship between them and how they evolved over time.
Okay, very good. So yes, so actually in a real test, if you hear any of these topics, you will be like almost ready to answer the questions. Now the question is, do any of them interest you?
Actually, all of them. I feel
All
all those
right.
topics so interesting. interesting because they are really related with people and maybe with all of us because we are too connected to social media and
Mhm.
we are too connected to with feminism and culture and society is so connected with us because we are surrounded by them. Identity and popular culture. We all have an identity and we are surrounded with popular culture and cultural theory. I found it interesting because it might give you the the reasons of being who you are and how you are today.
Mhm. All right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Very good. All right, excellent. Very good. Let's continue here. So remember, this is about predicting the context only. Okay, very good. So now we're going to top down process once again. You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to play a little
You
bit.
will hear a
Okay, can you hear that, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start. Remember, brainstorm ideas. That's what you need to do now.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester. Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, women and power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialize in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So a historical focus again.
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture. That approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, you'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102. So that might be less useful than some of the others.
Oh, I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
All right, very good. So let's see. What ideas did you get from the audio in a very simple way?
Choice,
Choice.
majoring, media studies,
Mhm.
decide, politics, social situations.
Sorry?
Social
Oh,
situations.
all right.
History and pop culture.
History and?
Pop culture.
Mhm. All right. So far, so good?
Yep,
Okay,
that's
very
everything here.
All right, very good. Now, if you heard properly, you realized that the student was looking forward to doing something. What was he trying to do?
Taking one of the courses that we're
Mhm.
like able to take there and for helping it out on his career.
All right. So, okay. So, are you sure he is just looking forward to taking only one?
Mm, he can take like two, as I understood, but
Mm-hmm,
he
mm-hmm.
likes like each one of them.
Oh, so the thing is to think how much he's interested in every single one of the options. Okay. All right. Very good. So I think that's a nice start for this activity because it's a little bit more complex. Do you have any questions so far?
No,
Okay. Very good. So
no.
now, okay, very good. So now here you have the task, okay? But pay attention. It says, you will hear a communication studies student talking to his teacher about optional courses for the next semester. Pay attention here. To complete this task, you need to listen for detail, but be aware that the words in the recording will be different from those in options A, B, and C. So here we need to paraphrase. It is important to paraphrase. Now, the thing is that you need to say, it says, what does Jack tell his teacher about each of the following course options? A, he'll definitely do it. B, he may or may not do it. C, he won't do it. Write the correct letter A, B, or C next to the option. Okay, so we need to see which option this is gonna be. All right, so are you ready to listen one more time and give the final answers to these?
Yes.
Okay, let's start.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester.
Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, women and power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialize in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So a historical focus again?
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture. That approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, you'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102. So that might be less useful than some of the others.
Oh, I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
Okay, very good. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Media studies. So which option do you give here? A, B, or C?
The first question, right?
Yes, media studies, 21.
Actually, I have B.
Sorry? Yes?
I have B.
Okay, so for 21, you say B. Okay, what about 22?
Actually, I have B.
B, all right. Okay, for 23.
I have C.
Okay, for 24.
Sorry, it was 23B and 24C, actually.
Okay, so it would be B, 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 C. Okay, 25.
B2.
B. Okay, so you think he's not interested 100% in any of the topics, okay? Because you didn't mention he. Sorry, he. A. He'll definitely do it. Okay, well, all right. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so first let me just track this here in my paper. 21B, 22B, 23B, 24C, and 25B. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, so 21, you said B, but it's C. 22, you say B, but it's A. 23, you say B and is B. Okay. 24, you say B and is, sorry, you say C and is B. And 25, you say B and is C. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio one more time so you can see how he feels about every subject, okay? And if he's going to do it, he's not, so you need to paraphrase the context, okay? So let's do it again. Please listen to the audio and try to look for the way he expresses himself when he's mentioned the topic, okay? All right, so ready?
Yes.
Okay.
You will hear a communication studies student talking to his tutor about optional courses for the next semester.
Come in. Oh, hello, Jack. Have a seat. Right. You said you wanted to see me to talk about your options next semester?
That's right. We have to decide by the end of next week. Really, I'd like to do all 5 options, but we have to choose 2, don't we?
Yes, but the choice depends on your major to some extent. You're majoring in communication studies, aren't you?
That's right.
So, for example, the media studies option will cover quite a lot of the same area you did in the core module on mass communications this semester, the development of the media through the last 2 centuries in relation to political and social issues.
Well, that was interesting, but I've decided I'd rather do something completely new. There's a women's studies option, isn't there?
Yes, women and power. Again, it has a historical focus. It aims to contextualize women's studies by looking at the legal and social situation in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So it would be useful if I intended to specialize in women's studies, but I'm not sure I do actually.
Well, it might still be useful to give you an idea of the issues involved. It's taught by Dr. Steed.
Oh, really? I'll sign up for that then. What about the option on culture and society?
That addresses the historical debate on the place of culture since the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
So a historical focus again?
Do I get the message you're not so keen on history?
Well, it's just that we seem to have done quite a lot this semester. Anyway, I'll think about that one.
If you're interested in a course focusing on current issues, there's the option on identity and popular culture. That approaches the subject through things like contemporary film, adverts, soap operas, and so on.
That sounds interesting. Can you tell me who runs it?
Well, it's normally Dr. Stevens, but he's on sabbatical next semester, so I'm not sure who will be running it. It should be decided by next week, though.
Right. Well, I might wait until then to decide. And the last option is Introduction to Cultural Theory, isn't it? I'm quite interested in that too. I was talking to one of the second-year students, and she said it was really useful. It made a lot of things fall into place.
Yes, but in fact, in your major, you'll have covered a lot of that already in Communications 102, so that might be less useful than some of the others.
I'll forget about that one then.
Now, while you're here, we could also discuss how you're getting on with your core module assignment.
Okay, very good. Do you have any questions?
Actually, no. And now everything is more clear.
Yes, many
I heard many things. And I put it up conclusions. And yeah, they were wrong.
All right. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be the official homework for today's class. So I'm going to show you just a little bit. So give me 1 second here. Okay, so okay, let me show you. So here, this is the task. Okay, it's the same, but it's number 2. You're going to think of alternative ways of expressing each type of hotel. Okay, so you need to write that down in a piece of paper. And then when you're ready, you can send it via WhatsApp or you can send it via email. Okay, so this is the first part. Then I'm going to send you the audio and you're going to top-down process the information first. Okay, based on that context. And finally, you're going to do the task. This is the task. Okay, so you need to listen to the audio one more time and complete this task. Okay, so here you need to match a numbered list of items from the listening text to a set option. So for example, here in number 1, you need to say which option you need to put, A, B, C, D, or E. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So give me 1 second here. Okay, very nice. So now I'm going to give you the class performance for today. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exercises. Okay, and you got 3. Okay, correct. Okay, very good. But I know it was the first one, don't worry. Actually, you're very good at listening. Yes, it's just that sometimes listening can be a little bit difficult depending on the situation, how we feel. Sometimes we get anxious because it's the only one that we're going to listen once in the text. So it's all right. So far, so good?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So